Welcome to my initial review video. We're talking about Railroad Corporation 2, some things to keep in mind. Game looks like and plays like it was released 20 years too late. Gameplay is clunky, boiled down to move green icons on the map to where there's demand, and you'll see that in the game. I just couldn't take much of it, so I only played for about 20 minutes on the single campaign. Basically, the game boils down to, trains, tracks, buildings all have a cost, and you just try to keep money coming in above that. I jumped into the sandbox multiplayer mode. It looked like there were a couple features that looked kind of interesting, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I would not recommend this game. I thought Railroad Tycoon 2 of 2006 had a better gameplay. So let's jump right into it. So I just open the options, check the default settings. Look fine. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit to a nice even number. Yep, everything's locked for the background art. So we'll just go ahead and pick the campaign, keep it on medium difficulty. So a couple players you can play with, each with their pluses and minuses. I ended up going with this Andrew Turner guy. Alright. Greetings. This city is a great place to start. Commodities, there you go, marked with a green square where there's supply. So you're looking at this little town. Not the best graphics zooming in. I was also kind of annoyed that you kind of expect to zoom in where your mouse is, and then it'll just go straight in, which isn't the end of the world. It's just a little annoying. So trying to figure out what these buttons on the top are doing. We'll need to build a railroad station. Okay. Trying to figure out how to rotate buildings. Okay. We're gonna put that on the edge of town. I guess it has to be within the little dots. Okay, where am I going to connect to? 8 or 9, 10 other towns. I think I eventually chose Shawnee. I figure coal is a early enough resource to take. Put the station here. Figure there's enough room to make that turn with the track. Okay, so we're gonna look for a map for a city that consumes grain, which I think is just about all of them. There you got grain there, got grain up here. So these just kind of look too far away. And now we get to see a little bit clunky. I'm trying to build a new station here, and then it's listing all these options that I can build at my current railroad station. It wasn't as intuitive as I had hoped. Just have to go up and click the icon up there. I'm still not sure why this popped up, but building space, I guess, is the upgrade we're looking at. Sure, I have $800,000. Looking to try and figure out how to build track, add track, and that's where the upgrade is. You see on the left, I mean, everything's kind of just automated. I'm sure I could I think my goal was that I would eventually make a big circle, so I'm trying to place it on this side. Sure, confirm. Now we have to buy a locomotive. I guess it's 1865, so there's only going to be one. To buy. We have to build a train depot first. It just kind of says you can't load grain up for free. You're gonna end up spending money a little bit, which will cut into your profits. Here's all your TISM stats. Again, they remind us that you have to pay for the goods that you buy. So I can't choose cargo, which kind of annoyed me. I couldn't really figure out if I could build, maybe I make a couple cars. I kind of click enough buttons to figure it out. And then if you thought the video was going slow now, you're going to be in for a shock. Trying to figure out if I set it up right. Trying to figure out, make sure he brings back coal. here I'm just watching this yellow line. Watching my train go as slow as it can with one cargo car on it, with no cargo cars on it here. Yep. Built the cut for us, which kind of looks cool. This is the fastest game. This is the fastest game speed here. Moment of truth if I set it up right. Still not coming back with anything. What kind of got me is that this game isn't visually appealing, which I know that's just kind of topical, but I feel like if the game's gonna move slow or be boring, it should kind of be nice to look at. And I get that it's the beginning of the game. They're trying to make you move slow to learn the controls, and I'm doing the best I can. Alright. So it looks like he bought coal. Bought some grain. We'll see if my car's coming out with anything. Sure is. Looks like I set it up right. We'll copy, which is a nice feature. Buy another train. Paste everything in there. Looks like now I got 2 going, so should accomplish this mission twice as fast. Looks like I have a headquarters there. But there's really not much to this game, at least right now. And maybe this is a type of game that you like, but I'm just not. I wasn't feeling it. We're gonna speed this up. Sell grain, buy coal. I think he's waiting for the train 2 to come in before he comes out. Train 2 goes in, and train 1 comes out. I didn't quite understand why they needed us to do it 20 times. And this is the only objective we have right now. Yeah, you just saw the pop-up about a minor malfunction, so it's trying to force us to buy a repair shop at one of the train stations. Eventually you upgrade the trains to be faster, hopefully haul more cargo. But this was it, and I'm sitting here just letting the game run, waiting for me to get 20 carriages sold at this other station. See what else we can do right now. Now we got our repair shop, which takes up 2 spaces, which if you remember we could upgrade the number of spaces to build buildings, but I mentioned Railroad Tycoon 2 earlier. I played that game a lot growing up, a long time ago. And it had visuals when you bought something. You know, you could see the buildings you bought when you looked at the train station. And I feel like this game doesn't have that. It looks like it's from 2006. And we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. The music's relaxing. Oh look, they want us to build a repair shop. Something the game already made us do, but now it's a mission. Another thing is, you have these missions pop up, or these objectives. You know, there's no reward for it. So the only reason I'm caring about doing these 20 carriages is ideally it's going to teach me something that I shouldn't have learned already in the first 6 transports. And if they want us to do it, you know, give me a reward, make me, give me, $10,000 or whatever, some arbitrary number. Right now, I'm deciding if I really want to keep playing. You know, it's, oh look, we transport logs from Erie to Salinas, and and then transport the lumber to somebody who wants it. Alright, I think I've seen enough. game is just simple, so there's other options you can do. Cheaper, faster refueling, faster, cheaper maintenance. Just seems like you're just killing time with the game without being able to build something. I'm sure faster trains get unlocked. Trying to keep an eye on the money, see if it's actually going up right now. Which I think the lowest dipped was below 530, so we are making money. Now I'm checking out what kind of things you can buy. You know, there's some kind of tech tree that probably isn't available right now. I'm trying to figure out how to build this guy. It looks like I got an achievement for building a research facility, which I'm sure in 20-30 minutes that would have been an objective. You know, and it's top speed, more reliability. It's nothing groundbreaking. And it's kind of the same thing for all these trains that we haven't unlocked yet. You know, fuel efficiency, pulling ability, and it's just going to keep going on and on. So I've seen enough for the single player that I don't really want to play this, but we're going to jump into a multiplayer game. Multiplayer with some AI, rather. Sure. And I'm just looking at the how to play, so we'll give ourselves plenty of money. Autumn and winter, the only two seasons. Mines, factories, and major cities. So coming in here, looks like I can build my empire anywhere I want. See, the AI already picked their headquarters. Bigger cities have bigger demands. Can't just build this, you have to figure out how to place your headquarters. Company must have an office. And that's all these cities. Hopefully you remember everything in them. So we saw the research department earlier, looking at lobbying now. You know, you lobby for cheaper rent. We'll pick the city where I am. Cheaper rent, cheaper tax, cheaper construction. You know, what's and then this kind of caught my eye. So you're bidding with the other players to control the means of supply. So I'm making an assumption that, you know, you get a little bit of payback whenever they pull grain from this. You'll notice there's no obvious you know, magnifying glass. How do I jump to this town? I sure hope it was worth it. Checking out my competitors who have been playing the game. Find my grain field. So looks like there's still a lot of things you can get down deep, down in the mud with, down in the weeds with. If you really want to, but I just didn't think this game was for me. You know, just more of grain goes from one town to another, and the output here is going to be hide and meat. So I'll buy the other grain field that can go into it. You'll see the price just runs away. That's about it for me. hopefully you have an idea of what this gameplay looks like. You can make a right decision, but ultimately it just wasn't a game for me.